welcome to the next episode in my spooky season movie series. Today I will be talking about, well, the cult classic, if you will, Terrifier. And as you can see, this is a really cool mug that I got at the Universal Halloween Horror Nights tribute store. We have Art the Clown there and his cool sunflower sunglasses, if you can see that, and his little clown cafe, and the fun house, and this chick. So let's dive in to some fun facts and happenings on the set and about the film. So yeah, let's talk about our boy, Art the Clown. So during the search for trying to find who is going to portray Art the Clown, so David Howard Thornton was the sixth person to audition for the film, and his experience and audition was quite the talk of the town, to say the least. So David Howard Thornton does have like circus and miming experience, so that really helped get him top notch priority as to ultimately getting the role. And when he went in for the audition, the director, Damien Leone, had asked him to just act like you just mutilated and beheaded a victim. What? And what are you going to do about it? So David Howard Thornton walks into this audition, obviously having no props, and has to mime and pantomime a lot of his surroundings and acting like he's holding things. So he is pretending to hold a now severed head and does his little kind of mime sing-songy dance thing that he does, and the movements, if you've seen the film, you'll know what I'm talking about. But he takes the head and starts to act like he's going to lick or eat his victim. So he kind of pretends to do like that and does like a little miming sequence where he's like, ugh, that doesn't taste good. So he pretends to put some salt on this head that he has and proceeds to take another taste, and then does a little thing where he's like, oh, that's much better.
Brother,
And that ultimately, literally miming that he was seasoning his victim, landed him the role. Another fun and interesting fact about David Howard Thornton, and just actors in general, it does always make you wonder, where do they get the idea, or how do they in their mind embody this character? Is it something or someone they take little nuances or things that another character does in a film and kind of base it off of that so that they can get into whatever character they have? And yes, David did just that. In an interview, David describes Art the Clown as a, quote, evil Mr. Bean. Now, for context, if you're not sure what Mr. Bean is, Mr. Bean is a very, or was a very common and popular British sitcom played by Rowan Atkinson. And he was kind of like a silly buffoonery character who did kind of like little giddy things as well. So that is where David Howard Thornton took the idea of like the silliness that Art does, even though Art is sadistically crazy. He takes a lot of that, he says, from Rowan Atkinson's character from Mr. Bean. And on a more serious note, David was also inspired by the likes of some of our older generational actors, Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, Lon Chaney, and then Doug Jones, as well as Jim Carrey. So it took kind of all of those black and white silent film era actors as well as more modern comedic people and rolled it all into one, and Art the Clown was born. In true fashion of David Howard Thornton being a clown, even though he's creepy and, yes, harms people in this movie, why not take that clownery behavior outside of the set and do something funny, and David did just that. During a break and like an off moment during filming, David spotted two women arguing on a random street, and he decided to just wave at them in full Art the Clown makeup, and it freaked them the hell out. He had to do something, even when he's off the clock. The underground tunnels that were used in this film were part of what is known, or what was known, as the abandoned hospital called Sea View Hospital. And these tunnels were used to transport the dead out of sight of the other patients in the hospital at the time where they were going to be cremated. So this fact I found very interesting and quite cool, really. So there are two main females in the beginning of the film, I'll say, named Vicky and Dawn. Dawn stays behind in the car while Vicky goes to get help. So while Dawn is waiting, she has the radio playing, and an ambulance goes by. And it's a very interesting fact I found, because that ambulance that just whizzes by was not planned. And so if you watch the film or know which scene I'm talking about, you'll hear it go by, and the director, Damien Leone, was like, you know what? This ambulance was not planned in our filming, but I kind of like it because they're in the city, they're driving home late at night, and it fit, and Damien decided to keep it in the film. So if you decide to watch it or know what scene I'm referring to and you hear that ambulance go by, there must have been a real-time emergency that was going on, and they left it in the movie. Okay, so this next one, disclaimer, it is a little bit of a spoiler, but it is absolutely wild. When I was doing my research and I read this, I gasped to myself. So the character that I had mentioned earlier, named Dawn, there's a particular scene in that film where she's upside down, hanging from her legs, and that is all I'll say. But there's a scene where that's happening, and for the sake of implementing what's happening, they actually had to take a body cast mold of her body, kind of like what they do with the Madame Tussauds Museum. They take body molds of the celebrities so that they can have the dimensions correctly, for viewing and when you take pictures and all that. So in this particular scene, they had to take a mold of the actress's body for the aftermath, let's say, of this particular scene. And wow. So when the full body for Dawn's character's scene was being created, the actress Catherine Corcoran became trapped for over an hour in the body mold. And this was due to her, I guess, accidentally removing too much of the separation agent that it has to be used to plaster this stuff on your body. And in doing so, it almost landed her in the ER. So that is very scary. I can just about imagine how maybe claustrophobic she got, even if you have claustrophobia or not. That's just very scary and quite creepy. So this next fact I thought was kind of funny. In the scene, there is a pizzeria, and the characters that I had mentioned earlier, Vicky and Dawn, played by actresses Jenna Cannell and Catherine Corcoran, they're ordering pizza. But essentially, Damien Leone had it written in the script that it was going to be taken place at like a burger joint. And when he found out that both actresses were vegetarian, he decided, you know what, let's find somewhere else, and chose a pizzeria to adjust to their liking, which I thought was funny and kind of cute. So there you have it. Thank you so much for watching another episode of my spooky season movie series. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and stay tuned and see you soon for next time.